Hello RV Calvary. Welcome. Today we had a lot of requests about draining your black tanks, draining your tanks in general. So we're going to be covering that today, and how we do it is actually very simple, but for a lot of the newbies out there, there's just a lot of questions and a lot of information. This is what we do and how we do it, and we've had just really good results, haven't had any issues. So here we go. Also, please like and subscribe. Helps our channel and helps us to keep producing some videos out there for you. All right, thank you. All right, so our camper has a back storage, which we like a lot. This camper has a lot of storage actually, but in the back is where I keep all my gear for our connections. So, but we have our orange hoses that we use, and you want different colored hoses. These are strictly for our sewage. We also have our blue hoses, which are strictly fresh water. We seal them so that nothing gets inside, and we throw them in these bins, which makes it a lot nicer and a lot easier to deal with. We also have our extension cords in one of these, our power cords. And here is where we keep our accessories for our drainage. Always have a good set of gloves. I bought these, are reusable, but you're handling
poo.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to make sure that you've got a good set of gloves whenever you're dealing with this. Alright, so one of the things I like to do is I like two clear pieces. I have a clear piece that I put on here so that I can see what's coming out, and then my actual connector down here, which goes into the dump tank, is also clear. You want to be able to see what's going on, because if something gets clogged, you definitely want to know it ahead of time. As you can see, we've got another one that goes in here, and we keep our hoses in our bumper. Some people don't like to do that, but we've honestly never had an issue. Inside of our bumper, we don't have any rust. It's coated on the inside, so I use it. It's just easier, and it's a great place. Depending on, I have about 20 foot of hose, and the reason that we do is depending on, not all campgrounds have the same setup. So you may have your utility poles over here and your sewage hook up somewhere else. Most campgrounds have everything together, which is very nice, but we have stayed at some campgrounds where everything's separate, and having the extra hose is just a lot better. We haven't needed all of it, but if one of your hoses breaks and you're out in the middle of nowhere, you want to be able to empty your tanks and have that extra hose. So having extra hose is great. You can fit a lot of hose into your tank, into your back bumper. So basically, you're just going to connect your hoses and always drain your black tanks first. Always. So we're going to pull and open our black tank first. So if your camper has a black tank flush, which and the only reason I'm covering this is because a lot of people don't know, if you have a black tank flush, you can start using this. We haven't touched the gray water tank yet, but you can use these. They're not very good. I'm just giving you fair warning. They would do okay, but there's some additional things we need to do to get our black tanks cleaned efficiently. So we're going to connect the water hose here. And we're going to turn on our black tank flush. None of this is pre-rehearsed, so I'm doing it on the fly as we're recording. All right, so the easy way, all you basically have to do for your black tank flush is you hook up a water hose at your dump station and you turn on the water. Nice. Well, somebody took a screw. So when you see that, you're going to start to see, as your flush starts to work, you're going to start to see more stuff come out. Okay? I don't like to rely on that. We take one extra step. So as you can see, we're going to let this run for a little bit as we're getting a lot of sludge out of here. And as this goes, we're going to start to want to see some clearer water coming out of here. And I'm still seeing little pieces of debris, toilet paper and stuff like that coming out. So we're going to let this sit in here. Probably let it run for a good, I typically let it run for about a good 15-20 minutes. And then I do my other flush. Check the inside here. Okay, so most of your newer models, travel trailers and fifth wheels, RVs in general, come with a black tank flush. Okay, but in the event that you don't have one of these, they're nice, but they don't always work. They'll get some of the stuff out, but it doesn't get everything out. So stuff cakes to the side of the walls of your black tank. You can also get these other little adapters that you drill into the side, and they do all these spinny things and all that. I can tell you from a number of people that we know that we've helped install these things for they don't work. Okay, they're garbage. So before you go drilling holes in your black tanks and all that stuff, you might want to invest in one of these. And this is $10, but it's going to be the best thing that I have found to get rid of your, to really just clean your black tank really well. They also, if you have one, our toilet, this goes directly down into our toilet, so there's no issues. If your toilet has, like on the fifth wheels, where the drain comes out and curves, they make another one. It's a few dollars more, but it actually has an attachment that comes on here. It's the same principle, but these things actually work really well. So if you use this in conjunction with this, with your black tanks sprayer, you'll be fine. But even if you don't have these, this by far, in my opinion, is the best one to clean your black tanks. And we really haven't, we've actually unclogged drains because we were just using this when we first got this trailer and found out that it didn't work. I keep it in a plastic bag because you're dragging this through your camper, and you can do all kinds of other things that are a lot more expensive, but this $10 thing is going to save you. And we've actually unclogged ours because we were just using this. Since we have had this and since we've used this, haven't had any issues. basically that's all you're going to do. You're going to turn this thing on, and then just turn it and swivel it around as you're spraying, and till you get everything out of there.
This lever's got to go down.
Yeah.
For the water to start, and it'll start spraying at the bottom, and then you just kind of...
And if you take a flashlight and look at the bottom of your tank, you should see your black tank is completely clean, and it actually does a really great job. It's only $10. It'll save you a lot of money and a lot of pain and a lot of aggravation.
And just a quick note, as the person holding the wand doing the little swishy swish, don't lean directly over the toilet.
Oh,
keep it hard, like at arm's length, and lean your head back the other way, because if it ever splashes up, guess where it's going to go if you're leaning right over? All up on your face. Nah.
So we have one person sitting using the wand on the inside. I typically would do this by myself, but since I got help and we've got the camera, I'm having somebody, actually Lauren is in there doing this. But as she's turning that around, I can see, I don't know if it's coming out on the camera or not, there's quite a bit of toilet paper and extra debris that's coming out that those didn't get. Now, I can tell you, some people are going to say, oh, you didn't leave it on there long enough. I have left my black spray point, black tank flush on there for over an hour, okay? And still use that wand and got the same result. And as you can see, I've got large chunks of toilet paper and stuff that are coming out that those didn't get. Okay, you can leave those on there for all day. They only spray in one direction. If something's trapped in the corner of there, which is a wad of toilet paper or something, they're not going to get to it because they're doing the same thing. They're spraying in the same direction, so it's not going to happen. But we've got a lot of stuff that's coming out that the wand is getting out that those spray points don't. So now I have not touched the gray tank yet. The gray tank is the very last thing that we do. We're going to flush everything out of here with the gray tank. But we've got a lot of debris coming out of here with that wand that those didn't get. Now, like I said before, it doesn't matter how long I run that. It's never going to get around. I ran a scope down in there, the way those are angled, there's some pockets in there that they're never going to get that whole black tank the way it needs to be. Okay, so this little guy, and this is, I put it right back in the plastic bag when we pull it out of the toilet. It goes right in here. Keep that water from going all over your camper. It's just not. This has these little spray ports at the end that just make this really good.
It's like a water roto-rooter.
Yeah, it really does. And as you can see, a lot of debris came out of here. Now, like I said, we have left our spray points, black tank flush on for over an hour. Went back and used this thing and removed a lot of debris. You can make these out of PVC, but for the cost of the PVC and drilling the holes and everything in there, you're not saving that much money. If you're saving $3, I mean, they're $9.99 on Amazon. I'll put the link below, and you can also see we'll do a complete blog on this on our complete blog on this on our website at www.rvcalvary.com. So one of the things that you got to do is remember to close your valves. We didn't go through all that process. We actually had somebody behind us, so we were getting out of there, so we didn't have to film them, or we didn't have to waste time filming. So basically it's the same process in reverse. Throw your stuff away. Make sure your valves are closed and you put your cap on. You're going to forget. All of us have done it at some point, but it's just once you do this and you get in the habit of doing it, you won't. It becomes a habit. You don't really need a checklist or anything for that. One of the things we do while we're in between camping trips is I put a couple of things in here, because what happens when your toilet gets filled with urine and poo and all that stuff, it's going to stink, and it doesn't really matter what you put in there. It's going to stink. A lot of people have all these different concoctions that they put in there. That's all great, but you got to remember you've got rubber seals, so you got to be careful what you put in here, because you don't want it to destroy and start to decompose your rubber seals. one of the things that we put in, and a lot of people like Dawn, dish soap is dish soap in my opinion. We just grab whatever's on sale. A little bit of this happens to be Palmolive. Okay, I'm gonna put just a good amount of this in here, maybe half a cup or so in here. Okay, and like I said, we have done this for a long time and it works. Dish soap is a natural degreaser. Most of your human fecal matter has got a lot of grease in it, so this is going to break down, or it's mostly all grease. This is going to break that all down and actually just like it does on your dishes and things like that. So dish soap is real important and helps keep your prevents your black tank from getting clogged. So the other thing I'm going to do is, and this is just for it's going to kind of clean the black tank, but this is just fabric softener. So we're going to put a little bit of this in here. Okay, I just use about 1 cap full, and then we're going to put about 2 gallons of water in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to put a couple of gallons of water in here. I put everything in first so that when this comes down there, when the water comes flowing down there, it's going to mix it up a little bit. This is a 5-gallon container. We fill it up about halfway, but it works. The other thing is on your next trip, I don't drain that until I get to the campground that we're staying in, and then we will basically, this will slosh around as well, mix up really good, and then I'll just add we use Happy Camper. So I'll add this with a gallon of water. I'll leave a link to this below. We've used the pods and a lot of different other things. This seems to work the best for us in breaking down everything. Does it break it down 100%? No. We haven't found a product that does that, but it does do a better job than stuff you get at Walmart and any of the Camco products and any of those pods. Those pods don't fully break down either. I've had the pod come completely out of here, and if you got the little scented things, if you like those, that's fine, but what we have found is that if you get lavender scented pods or something to put in there, you basically have lavender scented poo, because you can still smell the poo, but it's going to be lavender scented. We found this from who was that we saw a YouTube video? Jerry from I Love RV Life. He was using this, and I said, you know what, let me try it. And we used it and been using it ever since. It seems, like I said, I mean, it works better than some of the other ones. Once I have all that in there, this is something that we use as well. It's a toilet seal. Okay.
Put it up again so I can. Okay.
So we use this toilet seal. Don't need a lot of it, and I basically just coat the. It tells you to put a cup, but you don't really need to. You just need to coat your seal, because it doesn't matter if you use a cup or not. This is coating your seal up, and I've seen people use Vaseline and all kinds of different things. Vaseline is a petroleum-based product. These are rubber. Petroleum-based products will typically decompose rubber seals and stuff like that. These are synthetic rubbers, which any type of petroleum-based product is going to decompose that even further. So this stuff seems to work pretty well, but you want to keep that from getting dried out. That seal that's on here, you can replace them. They're not very expensive. It's just labor intensive, but you want to make that seal last as long as possible, and by coating it, will, you know, keep it lasting a much longer time. We live in Florida, so I'm sweating now. We're actually in October, It's cool out, but it's still hot and humid here. So we're in
Cool
the 80s
means
today.
80s.
Yeah. So, but the bottom line is this will dry out really fast if you don't, and will just decompose on you and leak, and that's what you don't want, because it becomes a problem. Also, when you're using your toilet, if you're doing number 2 in here, now I can tell you we do everything in here. One of the reasons we bought this camper was the fact that we used to have a porta potty, and porta potties we could only do number 1, and then if anybody had to do number 2, they had to run to the campground facility. Okay, well, we like having a full toilet. We like using our toilet, and we do everything in here. Water, water, water. Make sure that you're using a lot of water, because water is your best friend when it comes to this, and it comes to your toilet draining in your black tank. So what I found is people don't use enough water, and toilet paper, this toilet paper is made, use only RV toilet paper, but don't use regular toilet paper, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to have a problem. RV toilet paper is made to decompose in here, but if you use the RV toilet paper, it breaks down with water. Does it break down 100%? No. Okay, but it'll break down into little particles to where it'll come out. But water is what causes it to break down and makes everything work properly. So make sure you're using a lot of water. People don't like to do that because it fills up their black tank. That's why you want to have a tote, okay, which we'll cover in another section. But sometimes if you don't have full hookups, you got to use your tote. But it's better to use your tote than it is to not use enough water and get a clog. So clogs are not fun. Been there, done that. Since we've been doing this system, I can tell you, knock on wood, we haven't had a problem ever since then. But when we first got this thing, we went through some recommendations by some other people on YouTube, and guess what? We ran into some issues. So after doing a lot of research, and I'm an engineer, I kind of know how things work. I broke all this stuff down, and this is a much better system. It's inexpensive, a little bit more labor intensive, but you know what? It'll save you money in the long run.